So Geneviève, thank you so much for coming, and it's a pleasure to have you in the studios with us.
Thank you for having me in the program.
So first of all, what importance should or do you give to this Women's Day?
This Women's Day is very important for us this year because according to the UN Commission on Status of Women, the theme is innovation and technologies for equality, for gender equality. So we at Polaris Asso, we work on this subject. We are trying to reduce this gap as much as we can, because it's very important to us, and we think that this subject is a good opportunity for us to have a good impact. And this year we are working with UN Women Africa and other partners. We are releasing a big digital campaign for making people realize that this subject is very important and women have their place in digital.
Well, do we have much women in this digital world?
Unfortunately, no. Women are not really involved in digital.
Why? Why do you say so?
Because in Senegal, digital is seen as a man field. Unfortunately, that's why girls and women are not very interested to work in this field, for example. Also, parents play a big role in this, unfortunately, because they think that digital is related to being exposed.
But do you agree to that?
Not, of course not. Of course, there are some risks of being exposed in a bad way, but it's not all of this. For them, they think that their daughter will send pictures of their body, or that they will be part of some dramas. But no, I think that they have to see over it, and to see that with digital, their daughter can become a web developer, for example, or data scientist, or web designer, etc. So yes, unfortunately, we try to work on it.
Technology, digital world, innovation, which forms the basis of this year's Women's Day theme. Now, do you think that has elevated the status of women generally?
I think that we are on a good way for that. For example, at Polaris Asso, we are trying to make women realize that they have their place in it, and we see that there are some that they are reacting to that. So hopefully, yes, but there are much work to do.
But what does it really feel like as a woman finding yourself in, not to say the men's world per se, but an area where you know it's highly dominated by the men folks?
It's hard. It's very hard because we are a minority. So I can understand women and girls who hesitate to go in this field, but because obviously it can be scary and it might have difficulties on their way, but I think that they have to realize that they are as smart and as creative and as professional as men, and yeah, it's really important that they know that. Really important. But
what I'm saying is, you have technology and the term equality.
Yes.
So do you feel equal in terms of when it comes to technology with the men folk?
No, I don't really think equal. I don't think myself personally that equal, because I think it's a social question. As I mentioned, people just, when you say technology, you think about a man in front of his computer with his microphone, etc. But it's hard to vision, to have a vision of myself in this area. But I think that yes, women have their place to play, because as I said, we have the skills to be equal with them, with men in technologies.
What are some of your experiences you would want to share with us in this field? How has it been for you?
For me, a bit hard, but what I can say is that at Polaris Asso, when we are posting a job, like a job
opening or something?
Yes, opening. Thanks. We noticed that men, for example, we were looking for a web designer, and unfortunately, only the majority of the candidates were men. So I think that it's a good image to prove that women are not very concerned, or maybe they're scared. So yes.
Well, how can digital technology improve the condition of women today?
I think it's a really good opportunity in everyday life. For professional life, for example, with technologies, a woman who has a business can grow her business. She can be more seen with, for example, a website. She can use social media to sell her products, to get closer with her customers. So yes, it can help them with her business, help her with her business. And for her personal life, it can be very helpful, because with technologies, she can be more open on what's going on in the world. She can get news. She can get more informed. She also can read, for example, with a phone. She can watch videos on YouTube on how to cook or how to do something else. So yes, I think that on both sides, it can be very helpful for a woman just to be more open.
Do you think as we speak now, there are more women on the social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and the likes? Do you think there are more women there making some form of impact or cashing out, like people would say, using these social media applications?
I thought that yes. I thought that men are more present here in Senegal, are more on social media than women.
TikTok the dance videos and all of that. You think
yes,
we have the men folks doing that more?
Yes, but I think that women are more like attractive to this kind of app. Okay. I think that the likes, for example, or the sharing, the women are more exposed to that than a man. For example, it's more interesting to see a woman dance on TikTok than a man. Maybe it depends, but in general, I think it's the case. So,
all right,
yes.
Let's talk about violence now. We know so much that in as much as technology has great positives, there are also negatives. So how can we address the issues of violence and discrimination that women experience in the digital world?
Yes, unfortunately, digital has negative sides. At Polaris Asso, we are especially working on the phenomenon of cyber harassment. Yes, we noticed that most of the victims are women, unfortunately. And we strongly think that this subject, we don't talk enough about this subject. And that's bad because, for example, we released a white paper, a recommendation book called It's Not Your Fault. And in this book, we talked about two aspects. A social aspect. The first one is the fact that people don't know what is cyber harassment. For example, you can be a victim of cyber harassment and you don't even know. And on the other hand, a person can bully another person without knowing the consequences. So we think that in this country it's very important for people to know what is this subject, what is cyber harassment, so they can be more aware of it. And the second aspect that we worked on this book is more like a political aspect. We, as I mentioned, we think that we don't speak about this subject enough, and we made recommendation for the stakeholders just to help them to take actions for making changes about this subject.
Well, this year's theme, we know it's about technology, and we found technology very useful during the era of COVID-19.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were. Did you think the women make more of the positives from that era?
Yes, I think that during COVID, of course, it was a very difficult time, but it's made us realize that digital is very useful, and yes, I think that women really realized that. I think that it was the beginning of them realize that they have to be more involved in this field. So that's a positive thing of COVID-19, if I can say that.
Well, you have traveled. I mean, so you've been to Europe and in Africa. How can you compare women in digital world over there and here?
I think that in Europe, women are more confident with the question of digital. I mean, I think that they have realized more quickly that it is useful for them, for their personal growth, for their personal impact or professional impact. So, and here, unfortunately, I've noticed that women are not very confident about this subject. And it's a shame because they really should do something. They really have to use it for them, and they haven't realized yet. And hopefully they will soon, because they have as much as skills as a woman in Europe, and we really need to realize that we can do better.
Well, just a couple of questions for you all before we round this conversation off. Do you think the various governments across West Africa, across countries that are still struggling in terms of development are doing much in including women in the digital world?
Unfortunately, I think that the question is on the table. I think that the politics are talking a bit more about this subject, which is good, but they have to go a bit further in their decisions.
Okay.
Yes, I think that yes, there are lots of debates on it. Even men are even discussing about it, but they don't have to forget that what's gonna change is the actions that they are going to make. So it's very important to keep that in mind.
Well, before I let you go, how and what would you wish women out there that are listening to you?
Yes, as I said, and I really insist to repeat that we have the skills. We are intelligent. We have the possibilities, and as I like to say, even the sky isn't the limit. So, girls, women, don't be scared. Just try if you can do this, or if you like it first. Don't listen to other people's mind, and just go ahead and don't be scared. It's gonna be okay.
And the Geneviève Ndoye, Communications Manager, Polaris Asso, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Happy Women's Day to you and your team.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.